Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Back again here recording another episode Monday afternoon. Want to get into some of my thoughts on the Olympics, which, to be honest, I haven't been watching too much of. Want to touch in on something I saw with golf over the weekend. Hit briefly on NFL, even though we've basically officially entered the offseason for the NFL. Then I want to get into the Bucks and the Bucks excitement. Quick touch on the All-Star weekend, and then a thought I had about teams having that player that truly tilts the field. But there is a thought behind it, so we will get into that. So starting with the Olympics, I guess the biggest takeaways right now, at least for me, we have the women's ice hockey gold medal game, which will be on Thursday, USA versus Canada. USA women have also been looking pretty sharp. No surprise that it's against Canada. Should be a very good game. And then we also have on the men's side, the men's hockey team, the U.S. men's hockey team that has beat Germany yesterday on Sunday, 5-1, which automatically saw them through the quarterfinals, which will be on Wednesday. Opponent to be determined. And other than that, we have the standings as of right now. Norway in first place with 12 gold medals, 7 silver medals, 9 bronze medals, for a total of 28 medals. Italy sits in second, 8, 4, and 11 for 23 total medals. And the U.S. sits in third, 6 gold, 8 silver, 5 bronze for a total of 19 medals. We have just under a week left. Still a lot of competition. But there is a Norwegian cross-country skier who I have watched a little bit. Cross-country, I mean, let's be real, not the most exciting sport to watch, but watching it, I do have a profound appreciation for the fitness levels of these athletes. Unbelievable. I think I would make an argument that cross-country skiers are the most cardiovascular fit athletes across all disciplines. There's a Norwegian guy, Johannes Holsflot Klæbo. Hope I was pronouncing his name correctly there, but Johannes has 4 gold medals. Watching this guy in the cross country, his domination, I'm out of breath watching this guy. Oh my goodness. And these skiers are posting sub 6 minute miles on their on an uphill slant. It is unbelievable. I would advise you to at least check in and, like I said, not the most exciting, but maybe put it on in the background and watch at least 10, 15 minutes, men's or women's. These athletes are unbelievable. So Johannes does have 4 gold medals. He got 4 gold medals in 4 different heats in cross country. He leads all athletes with 4 medals. Just behind him, we have a Franjo van Almen from Switzerland. He's a skier. He took gold in the men's team combined, the men's downhill and the men's Super G. He's in second place among all athletes with 3 gold medals. Incredibly impressive. And then tied in third place, we have Anna Odin Strom, ski jumping. She got 2 gold medals and 1 silver medal, and then also 2 gold medals and another silver medal is Frida Karlsson, another cross-country skier from a Nordic country. Once again, incredibly impressive. That, I think, is my biggest takeaway so far from the Winter Olympics is the cross-country skiing. And I know I've felt this way before, and I've been down this path, especially every time the Winter Olympics comes on, but I kind of seem to forget. And then we have the Winter Olympics come back, and all of a sudden I remember how incredibly impressive it is. And then in another heat, for them to pause and have to shoot a target. Man, I do a 10-meter sprint with my feet, and I would be trying to aim a BB gun, trying to hit essentially a bird from 20 meters away. Although I would never be aiming for a bird. I'm just a target. I wouldn't harm a bird. I'm harmless. Anyway, women's ice hockey gold medal game on Thursday. Men's quarterfinal on Wednesday. Those are probably the two big events that I will be on the lookout this coming week. Then I wanted to touch into golf. Golf over the weekend for the PGA Tour. There was the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Winner was U.S. Colin Morikawa. Shot a 62, a very impressive 62 in round 3, which was the lowest score of the day. So congratulations to Colin Morikawa. It was, I believe, a $20 million purse for this tournament. Scotty Scheffler shot a very impressive 63 on his final round, on round 4, but it wasn't enough as he ended up tying for 4th with Tommy Fleetwood. But my takeaway as well was there are a lot of people who say, Scotty Scheffler right now, his iron game is top notch. He is the best in the world right now. And a lot of times when you have other golfers or even other instructors analyzing his swing and breaking down his swing and saying, oh, he's so good because, it's not every golfer has their own unique swing, but some even more unique than others. Non-traditional type swings, and Scotty Scheffler definitely falls into the non-traditional type swing category. And a lot of times you will have, and you can look it up online and, look at how instructors and other players once again break down his swing, and they refer a lot of the times to his feet because his feet never really stay planted, and his feet move a lot, and even after his follow through, he does come up in the air, and then his toes point forward, and his feet move a lot, essentially. Which is very true. But for me, when I watched, and it specifically came out on the 18th hole, he had, Scotty Scheffler, this is a phenomenal 186-yard approach. Basically put it, within 3 feet of the pin. It was, for their level, it's a tap-in putt. So he put it within 3 feet of the pin, 186 yards out. It was a phenomenal shot. But I watched the shot, and it seemed, I was almost wondering if he had changed his swing because he came in so steep, and I almost felt that in his backswing there was almost like a change of it was very slight, very subtle change of plane, almost kind of like Jim Furyk. I don't know if anybody remember. I believe it was Jim Furyk. If you remember, he used to come up in his backswing. It would be super steep, and it looked like he was just wobbling, going side to side in his backswing. His backswing was very unique. I'll just put it that way. And it kind of just gave me a little glimpse of that because I felt that Scheffler in his backswing, as steep as it was, there was a little, just a blink of an eye change of plane in his backswing. And so I tried to look to see if he had changed his swing or if there was anything different. I couldn't really find anything. I saw a couple of videos of basically his swing and the progression of his swing throughout his amateur career into his professional career and to now. Then I was watching some more of the highlights, and I don't know. Something I will definitely be looking for a little bit closer going forward. Watching, I can't actually say that I watch all 18 holes, every shot, but I definitely do tune in, especially after the elimination, after the cuts. So it's definitely something I will be looking at going forward, because I do feel at least he did just seem to come in super steep, way steeper. And a lot of times people will say, or instructors will say, I mean, of course, once again, it's all unique, but, coming in too steep has a lot of downside, as well as coming in too shallow. And there's kind of a degree that your wrists should essentially try to follow through. It's in your backswing. And if you come in too steep or if you come in too shallow, it really makes a lot of changes, and I guess not 100% ideal for ball striking, distance. Anyway, something I'm going to be looking at going forward. The next tournament is this weekend, February 19th through the 22nd. It is let me double check here. I know it's in Riviera, at the Riviera in the Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles. The Genesis Invitational, that's what it's called. It's the Genesis Invitational, 19th through the 22nd at the Riviera Golf Club. $20 million purse on that one as well. Now I just wanted to quickly touch in on the NFL as well. Not too much going on because we're we're definitely in the off season now, just with some teams. Most of the teams have made the changes that they were looking to make, filled the voids, at least definitely on the coaching staff. I believe there were 9 head coaching vacancies. All have been filled at this point. So just offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, linebackers coach, wide receivers coaches, kind of doing a little bit of shuffling around. So not a whole lot going on now, as most of that has already happened. The Packers, as of this moment, obviously they came out and officially released the statement of, yes, we did extend LaFleur and Goody. Obviously there are a lot of mixed feelings about that, but then not so hot, at least from my perspective. It seems like Rich Bisaccia was going to be staying, and then Adam Stenovich, the offensive coordinator, will be sticking around as well, it looks like, as of this moment, which for me is even more than a bit disappointing. I think the special teams has been the Packers' Achilles heel for definitely as long as Rich Bisaccia has been at the helm. And then it also looks like Brandon McManus will keep his job as our kicker. I'm not too angry about that one, to be honest, because I felt during the season, although he did have his little injury stint where we had the substitute teacher Haversick come in and kick the longest field goal in Packers history. But other than the little injury stint McManus had, I thought throughout the season he was incredibly successful, or incredibly consistent and successful. I'll put it this way, I was confident that he would make the field goal. Where I wasn't confident was there being some sort of blocking breakdown, assignment breakdown, because I don't know. People don't know who they're picking up and who they're supposed to be blocking because of, I don't know, the coaching maybe. But I did feel confident when McManus was stepping up to kick the field goal. So I know he had a collapse in the first round against the Bears. He missed 2 field goals, missed an extra point, which at the end of the day, if you wanted, 3 + 3 + 1 would have outscored the Bears and we would have ended up winning because we only lost by 4. I mean, I get it. But then, I don't know, at the same time, I point to, one, do you believe in second chances? To that degree, if you want to be intense about it. And then also look at Sam Darnold. I mean, he collapsed first round of the playoffs for the Vikings after putting up a 14-win season. He gets let go the next season. And look who just won the Super Bowl. I know that's an extreme example, but it's still an example. And why I am okay with keeping McManus and giving him a second shot at the opportunity to kick field goals for us to start the 2026 season. However, the leash will be tightened a little bit. And if the Packers go through another season where we have another first-round exit, and in that first-round exit, he misses a field goal, he even misses a field goal, barring we get blown out by 40-plus points and he missed one field goal, okay. I mean, of course, there are always outlying scenarios, but then I will say, I'm pretty sure at that point, I will say it's okay to move on from McManus. But for now, given what we have seen from him the previous season, I am okay with keeping him around. Not so much his coach, not so much the offensive coordinator. And then I also did want to note that Hafley, the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins, it is nice to see. I will definitely be checking in because I really did like Hafley. I thought he was a stand-up guy, great coach. His pressers were a lot of fun, very informative. Just seemed like a really good guy. So I will be keeping an eye a little bit, on the Dolphins, wishing him success and kind of secretly hoping that they do really well, that they have a very strong season, that he manages to turn it around. Up until they play, if they do end up playing the Packers, I hope his whole plan fails miserably and the ship totally sinks and he doesn't even look like a coach. But anywhere outside of that, I really am hoping for the best. I'm going to have an eye looking that direction and seeing what he's doing. And I say all this because he has already begun cleaning house. Tyreek Hill will not be returning. They got rid of one of their offensive linemen. They got rid of Nick Chubb, their defensive end. So he's starting to clean house a little bit, and I kind of like it. And I'm already interested to see what the decision will be with Tua. Because Tua, yes, he has had plenty of concussions, and for that reason alone, I mean, people make the argument that he shouldn't even be playing anymore. So he is a bit of a liability, and it is scary to put him out there because anytime there is a sack coming, your heart, even if you're not a Dolphins fan, your heart kind of stops and skips a beat, and it's just like, oh no, oh damn. He's about to get hit. Is he about to get carted off again? Are we about to see his fingers crunch up all these sides? No one wants to see. It is not fun. Definitely can't imagine it's fun for Tua. But aside from that, his play is, I mean, let's be real. C+, B- quarterback. Malik Willis is a free agent. I mean, good luck trying to find me someone that would take Tua over Malik Willis with what the Packers have done with him. I think that would be an excellent fit. Anyway, let's move into a little bit of Bucs talk here. This is the part that I'm excited about because I want to point out someone that has not been getting the proper attention. But the first thing I want to point out is that John Horst did sit down with Gail Klopov courtside this past week. And to be honest, he didn't really say too much outside of what I suppose your GM should be saying. I do want to give him credit, though, because it just seems like he misses on the draft. He'll miss sometimes in free agency, but it just feels like Jon Horst, when all the chips are on the table, he manages once again to do some crazy, weird trade that has people questioning, okay, what's the thought process? What's the idea behind this? But he manages to pull a rabbit out of the hat, and he manages to make it work. And it's just at dawn, he always comes through. You can't tell me otherwise. In the end he has come through. Miss. 2 men on, 2 outs, down by 2, bottom of the 9th, home run. That's Jon Horst right there. Anyway, in the interview, he basically had a lot of positives to say about Ousmane Dieng, our new acquired 3 from the Thunder, as we all know. And Jon Horst seems pretty high on his potential. I think a lot of people do, especially in these last 2-3 games that we've seen of him. He also touched on the back-end excitement in inquiring Cam Thomas and how long that, he's kind of been on the Bucks' radar for quite some time, and then finally getting him into Milwaukee and how exciting that was. And then he mentioned going into All-Star break that he was, and I guess this would probably be the most important aspect of the interview for me, was that he was still very optimistic on the season. Of course, you could even if a team was tanking, you can kind of tell in the verbiage that they're tanking. I didn't get any of that away from Jon Horst. It seemed like he was legitimately being authentic in saying that he and the staff were still optimistic and not downplaying the difficulties and recognizing the hardships. He mentioned Giannis was still 2 to 3 weeks away at least, and that was a week ago, so hopefully in the next week, 10 days maybe, we might see Giannis, I heard. I didn't really check too much, to be honest. I heard there were some mumblings about him being back already Friday against the Pelicans. To be honest, I doubt it. And I would rather him just be back full swing. I don't want him to come back and, for the Pelicans game, be on a sub 20 minute time minute restriction. Just come back healthy. Give us your 30, 35 minutes. I don't want to see Giannis 22 minute restriction nights. That's just me. Jon Horst also gave high praise for Rollins, which I think he has definitely earned. Ryan Rollins, watching him grow and watching his game grow, watching his confidence grow, it has definitely been a positive, a bright spot for this season up until this point. So I would definitely agree with Horst on that one. And then he also mentioned Bobby's quote-unquote lunch pail mentality, which I thought was also spot on. That's why we love Bobby. That's why he's the mayor of Milwaukee, is because you can bet your bottom dollar when Bobby's in the lineup, there is going to be a little bit, there will be some chirping. There is going to be, he plays hard. He works hard. And he brings up the mentality of the team around him when he is on the court. Because Bobby plays. And then finally, he also mentioned how the season has not lived up to what was wanted and expected. Boy, it wasn't that obvious, but I don't know. I guess it's just comforting to a degree to hear your general manager admit it. And then I want to get into... All right. Everybody, a lot of people have been saying and talking about Ousmane Dieng. Ousmane Dieng, he is the new he's the savior of this Bucks franchise. He is so amazing. Oh my goodness. Jang, 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 jang. And I get it. He does look super promising. He is that tall 3, small forward that the Bucks have been missing. He can shoot from the perimeter. He can grab a rebound. He plays tough defense. A little bit on the light side. I think he could maybe add a little bit of weight. Not too much, though, because then at that point, he could turn into a stretch 4. And watching him, I agree. I do see he is smooth with it, as Giannis said. And you do see a lot of potential. And you can see that he does show some confidence, which is great. But he also is an extremely raw talent still. But definitely has room to develop. And a lot of people are saying, well, how come if he is, the savior of this Bucks franchise and he is this amazing player, then why did the Thunder part ways with him? Specifically because a lot of Thunder staff and players had a lot of good things to say and loved him as an individual, but apparently word around the street from some of the front office guys and from the coaching staff was that he has a little bit of a work ethic issue. So who better to pair him than Giannis? Then who better to pair him with than Giannis and even Bobby Portis? These guys, veteran, hard-working individuals. Giannis is especially. He's going to find out real quick what it is to put the work in. And if that is an issue, if that is a legitimate issue, and how much weight that problem holds, that is fixable. And if it isn't fixable working next to Giannis, then I don't know. What is he too young? Can that change? Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing it. But the player I want to talk about that has not been getting enough attention, that I've mentioned before, is Jericho freaking Sims. Man, okay. Giannis is 6'11". He comes in, he has, on ESPN right now, he weighs in at 243 pounds with a 7'3" wingspan. Okay? 6'11", 243, 7'3" wingspan. Jericho Sims is 6'10", 250, 7'3" wingspan. That is almost identical. You can see it. He's as big as Giannis. He has big shoulders. He is a big dude. And the reason I am so excited when I see him is because you watch him play. This dude is a bunny on the freaking court. He has springs under his feet. He doesn't even run. It's not even looking like he's just gliding. He has legit springs under his feet. In 2021, he posted a 44.5-inch vertical. This dude, if you watch this guy, and I don't know why it's taken this so long, but you watch this guy in the court, he is an absolute freak athlete. No wonder he comes in and grabs all the rebounds. And you give this guy, this is their job as the coaches. Do whatever drills you need to do. Hit him with bags underneath the rim, football style, and just tell him to go up and dunk the ball because, in the words of James Harden, if only he was as good as Giannis for just dunking the ball, that's easy play. I don't know what you do, but you need to build this dude's confidence. You give him confidence, and if he gets the ball underneath and he just bully balls his way, it's honestly it's another Giannis type player. And I don't know, with a 44.5-inch vertical, this dude is a freak athlete. I don't know why it's taken so long for him to be able to come to this point. Maybe it's because he was still putting on weight. But at 27 years old, this needs to be front burner, as we call it in the kitchen. This needs to be this needs to be high on the priority list of doing what needs to be done in order for him to raise his confidence, so you can give him the ball in the post and he's either shouldering his way to a freaking dunk or he's getting fouled and going to the line. This dude jumps up for alley-oops. It's his freaking nipples are at the rim. It's unbelievable. Bam Adebayo, by the way, 6'9", 255 pounds, 7'1" wingspan. So he's a little shorter, little heavier, because you can tell he's pretty ripped. Wingspan isn't as big. Bam's isn't. Joel Embiid, a little taller, 7 foot 280, 7'5" wingspan. You can definitely tell Embiid is he's a heavier specimen. I mean, sometimes when you're watching him, incredibly gifted, but when he jumps, it just feels like he's putting in twice as much effort as anybody else to jump, and they're like little baby jumps. I don't know. He's a rock, and it just looks like jumping for him now is even a task, a chore. Watch Jericho Sims. All right. Was running into some technical difficulties. But Giannis, what I was saying here was that Giannis stepped off late in the fourth quarter against the Nuggets, in which we lost 102-100. That was the last time we saw Giannis on the court for the Bucks. After that, we played Philly. We lost 139-122. Jericho Sims in that game he saw 11 minutes. And in 11 minutes, posted 1 rebound and had a plus-minus of -11. Absolutely nothing to write home about. But then we lost to the Wizards 2 days later. The team that has had our number all season long. We lost to the Wizards 99-109. And in that game, Jericho Sims did not play. Then we lost to the Celtics 107-79. Got blown out. Jericho Sims saw 4 minutes in that game. Scored 2 points, had a plus-minus of -4. And then we beat the Bulls 131-115 2 days later. And in that Bulls game, Jericho Sims saw a little more playing time. 21 minutes, 9 points, was 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, had a plus-minus of 29. Led the team. Was in front of, I know it's a little funny, but Kyle Kuzma posted a plus-minus of 18. And then after that, Jericho Sims by himself with a plus-minus of 29 during our 131-115 win over the Bulls. And then this is where the Bucks started picking up some heat, and this is why we are so excited. Because we beat the Pelicans in a thrilling overtime game, 141-137.
Jericho Sims, once again, saw an extended amount of playing time. 28 minutes. 8 points. 4 for 4 from the field. Plus minus of 6. Only behind Ryan Rollins, who had a plus minus of 9. And then the Bucks beat the Pacers. 105-99. Jericho Sims, increased minutes. 31 minutes. Only racked up 4 points, was 2 for 3 from the field, but had 15 rebounds. And that's where the Bucks have been struggling this whole season. And he was showing everyone that the answer is right there in Jericho Sims. He grabbed 15 rebounds and had a plus minus of 9, only behind Miles Turner, who had a team leading plus minus of 11. After the Pacers, the Bucks get ran off the court by the Magic, 118-99. It was a game where the whole time it was, I think the Bucks got in within 4 points at one time, but they just kept pulling away. We just couldn't catch up. It happens. Jericho Sims had 28 minutes, 5 points, 2 for 4 from the field, 6 rebounds, plus minus of -9. But that wasn't nearly as bad as some of the others. KPJ with a plus minus of -21. AJ Green and Kuz, both with plus minuses of -13. Ryan Rollins, a plus minus of -11. And then we play the Magic again. We played them in back-to-back. This time, we come out victorious 116-108. And in this match, Jericho Sims had 36 minutes, increased minutes, 17 points, 6 for 6 from the field, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds for a plus minus of 8, only behind KPJ, who had a plus minus of 11. Now, Jericho Sims in this match, unfortunately, he had a very immature, lazy foul late against Jalen Suggs. Almost allowed the Magic to come back into the game. I mean, it was very close late, but they inbounded the ball, and Jericho slapped at Suggs straight away. Suggs did a great job of selling it, and basically with taking 1 second off the clock, the Magic went to the line, and I believe there was a little over a minute left to play. It was a terrible foul. But aside from that, 36 minutes, 17 points, 6 of 6 from the field, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, and a plus 8. And then we go into OKC, and we beat OKC 110-93. And I get it, OKC was resting, no Shai, no Jalen, no Hartenstein, but guess what? The Bucks are without Giannis, without Prince, who, as the season has gone on, has been proven to be a more crucial part of this team than I think anybody imagined. But in this 110-93 victory over the Thunder, Jericho Sims put up 20 minutes, 8 points, 4 or 5 from the field, 5 rebounds with a plus minus of 6. This Sims we need to coach his confidence, and he needs to be in there grabbing rebounds. His job needs to be in grabbing rebounds, putbacks. He has such a high field goal percentage because all he's doing is laying up, dunks, and that's exactly what it should be. And I get all of the hype behind Ousmane Dieng. But for me, Jericho Sims has been the absolute dark horse of this run that the Bucks are on right now. Granted, Cam Thomas has also helped with that. He's a bucket getter. That's what he does, is he gets buckets. Nets fans will even back this up. Most of them will probably say, hey, he's a bucket getter, absolutely, but have fun dealing with him when he goes 2 for 15 from the field, posts a plus minus of minus 25, can't hit a shot for his life. Have fun with that. But I also think it was the Nets in Brooklyn. Might have been the situation that he was in. Definitely wasn't playing next to a Giannis. He was getting doubled, even triple teamed a lot. So the circumstances are definitely different, have changed for him. And even in this couple game stretch that we've seen him, yes, he is an absolute bucket getter, but we have also seen him make some sniper passes. So I think there's a lot to look forward to. And I also think in Brooklyn, he was given a lot of leash, a lot of leeway to do whatever he wanted to do. He's kind of the leader of the team. And it was at times kind of his way or the highway. And it was just, I think he had so much weight on his shoulders and a lot of pressure just to go get buckets, and maybe also fed into his ego a little bit. But in Milwaukee, it's going to be a different story. We got shooters. We got Giannis. We got Jang now. We have Portis. And we got Jericho Sims, baby. So all of this to say, yes, of course, I'm thrilled with the Cam Thomas, Ousmane Dieng signing, bringing them in. I think Dieng definitely a raw talent, definitely needs to round out some of the coarse edges that he has. But there is a lot of potential, absolutely. And all of these pieces together is definitely reason for excitement, because these are what we have been witnessing essentially are non-Giannis minutes, which is where this team struggles. And when Giannis returns, we all know that with Giannis on the floor, we will have a chance. And when Giannis needs a rest, if we can either keep ourselves in the game or even add cushion or reduce the deficit, that is when this team will be scary again. And I think it's possible. I don't want to get my hopes up, but things just got a lot more interesting coming out of All-Star Weekend for Milwaukee Bucks fans who play the Pelicans again on Friday. And speaking quickly, All-Star Weekend, I was definitely, I wouldn't say to a degree as aggressive as hater, but definitely never really tuned in much. There's just always something new. The dunks are, I get it, these guys are freak athletes, but I know it sounds terrible. I definitely can't do it. They're amazing. These dunks are legit, but at the end of the day, it's no dunks that we haven't necessarily seen. Jumping over someone 360 through the legs, I get it. That's all great. I'd almost think the dunk competition should be a la Olympics once every 4 years, just to kind of see the evolution of the game. 3-point contest is fun. They need to insert women in there. I wouldn't mind seeing Caitlin Clark, Rickea Jackson competing against, or Breanna Stewart competing against some of these guys, shooting threes. That would be fun. But I know I'm definitely not the first person to say that. And then this new format, I was kind of a little hesitant about it, but honestly, it did bring out more competition than I was assuming, and I had it on in the background, and it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. So, success compared to what it has been, sure. Am I excited about All-Star Weekend every weekend or every year? Not specifically. Still not. And then I finally just want to get into this thought that I had about having that player for your team. That dude. And this leads to somewhere. So hear me out. Basically, in every sport, you could almost argue that you have that dude who is going to, as long as you have that dude, you have a chance. The Shohei Ohtanis, the Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, these guys, as long as you have them on your team, you have a chance. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. But the thing is, in basketball, for example, Michael Jordan was a lot different of a player than Giannis, for example. But you had Jordan on the court with you, you know you had a chance. If Giannis is playing on the court if he's wearing your jersey, you know that your team has a chance. Luka Doncic is a far different player than Nikola Jokic. But if you have either of those guys playing for you, you have a chance. Shohei, sometimes he's pitching. But you know when he suits up for the Dodgers have a chance. Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, two entirely different players on the pitch. Yet when your team steps on to the field and Cristiano Ronaldo is in your starting 11, you know that you have a chance to win. And the same goes for Messi. And if you look in the NFL, who are those players? Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, maybe. And this is my point exactly. Micah Parsons, maybe, yes. There are field tilters, no doubt about it. And when you have Micah Parsons going on the field with you, you feel like you have a chance. You can do something good. But is it to the point that you have a chance to win? And I know this sounds ridiculous, but it's not, are you going to win because of Micah Parsons, or are you going to have a chance to win because of Micah Parsons? So that dude, can that dude be a defensive player in the NFL? Can your team feel like you are going to win because you have Myles Garrett? Even though, look at the Browns' record. Whereas on the other hand, the Bills had a phenomenal quarterback, Josh Allen. Defense, middle of the pack. Can be moved on. but you can win games because you have Josh Allen as your quarterback. So where I'm going with this, have the rules become so increasingly favorable for the quarterback position? And I know this isn't a new argument, but if you don't have that guy at quarterback, do you stand a chance not only make it to the playoffs, but to make it to the Super Bowl? People were saying Drake May was that guy. He had a 70% completion percentage this season. That is absurd. That is playing elite level, that guy level. Sam Darnold was posting 122 passer ratings in the playoffs. Their defense was also championship level as a unit. I get it. The Texans fell short because, well, is C.J. Stroud that guy? Was Stidham that guy? Just food for thought. You have, for better or for worse, rules that are increasingly favoring not only the offense but the quarterback, to the degree that they can fake going out of bounds and pick up 5 extra yards. They can fake slide to avoid the hit to pick up 10 extra yards. We've seen it happen. And if these guys are not on your team, do you have a chance at the Super Bowl? And is it good that these rules are starting to so aggressively and so visually favor the offense? And yes, this isn't brand new. I know. The league loves points. More viewers, more excitement, more money. But I think, and especially now when they're also talking about adding yet another week to the NFL season, which would be a big mistake, that these rules are slowly but surely having a negative effect on the product through the course of the season. And there's a lot more to be said there. Maybe I'll get into it again next week or sometime during the off season. But thank you guys for listening. Catch you next week. Have a good week. Happy President's Day. We'll catch you next week.